Okay, we are live, and unfortunately, we got to talk about ugly watches again on today's show. This is a special emergency broadcast, folks. Absolute emergency. And so we're treating it as such. And I've got another little clip I'm going to play here. Um, there's two things. You don't want a watch that's too big, and you don't want a watch that is unattractive on the wrist. You don't want a watch that is unattractive on the wrist.
It's too big.
See?
It's just too big.
Yeah. So now the watch I've got on the screen right now is a big watch, right? But it is a sport watch. It is a diver. It is a Grand Seiko diver, so it's pretty big. This watch on my wrist right now is 38.5 millimeters. 38.5 millimeters. It's a Grand Seiko SBGY002. 38.5 mils. I would not want an all-around / dress watch any bigger than this. This is like right at the limit. And I have a 7.25 inch wrist, just for your notes. And notice how this drapes on the wrist. The way the lugs are shaped and the way everything's shaped, it lays nice and flat on the wrist. Now I'm going to contrast that with the watch that's the subject of this broadcast, which is a Lange Sons. Let me pull up the laptop here. Let me get this banner off real quick. So this is a watch that Jason claims that he bought. I hope he didn't. I hope he's just trolling, but maybe he bought it. And he did a post on Facebook, and he said, made a big upgrade from my GS SBGY002, which is pictured on the top there, to a Lange 1815. Okay. And look at the difference. Look how gorgeous the 002 is. Just a partial photo of it there, right? Compared to the Lange. I mean, my God, people, what the hell's wrong with people? Let me try see if this will, can I see the whole thing? No. Okay. So okay, there's the whole picture. Okay. See how gorgeous that watch is, the shape, the color of the dial, the 18 karat yellow gold. It's just freaking gorgeous. We've talked about this many times on the show. You can go ahead and take a look and see on my website. But if you contrast it with this watch, see the lugs, how they look like they're just an afterthought stuck on there. And that's sort of like their trademark. They're like, oh, this is a pocket watch, but we threw like some lugs on it, right? And sometimes you have a trademark and it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work, okay? The case shape is just not attractive. I mean, now, if somebody knows what an A. Lange & Sons watch is, then they're going to be blown away. They were like, man, this is unbelievable. It's so well made, and so on and so forth. But if somebody who doesn't know and they look at this and they look at these lugs and so forth, and they compare that to the 002, they're going to be, well, of course the 002 is more attractive. So it's a total fail as far as the case shape. And we've talked about this before on the channel. We've talked about various options. When I was looking at getting the 002, we compared it to some Calatravas, some of these Lange, and some Vacheron Constantins, so different watches, right? And nothing could eclipse the beauty of this watch and the functionality. Remember, I buy my watches to wear. I don't buy them as box watches. I don't buy them to share on social media and brag about the watch that I just got, and so on and so forth. I don't go through a whole lot of watches. I keep my watches for years and years. So I have to have, first of all, I'd have to have a deployant clasp. That's just a given on a leather strap. I would have to have a deployant clasp. I would have to have a watch that looks beautiful on the wrist. Let's pull up this video. Give me a second here, and I'll play this video, and you'll see how it looks on the wrist here in this video, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Just play this.
9.5 millimeter thick and 47.5 millimeter lug to lug, cased in a fully polished rose gold case. Now, don't let the specs fool you. While traditionally I do prefer smaller cases, the pocket watch style of this piece makes the watch
And it does
look
have a
superb at
gorgeous
40
movement,
millimeters.
by the way.
Having the
Absolutely. But look at it on the
47.5
wrist. Look at
compact lug to lug size
I mean, that
gives
tells
it
you
a very
everything right
wearable
there.
size while
That tells
giving
you
the
everything you
opportunity
need to
be
know
dressed down should you choose to do
that you
so.
don't want this watch
Pair
on
this
wrist,
piece with a
which is
t-shirt and
not
jeans.
attractive on wrist. And And this is the issue that I have with, and I'll show the comments. I'll show the comments, Jason. I see your comment in there. Yes, I absolutely want to show those. Let me get this back. This old laptop is like struggling to for the mouse and everything to work. So I will switch back to that, and I'll go through the comments because some of them are hilarious. So this is funny. I mean, the issue that we run into in the watch community and the collector community and all this is they grasp onto these designs for God knows what reason, and then they'll die on that hill that this is just gorgeous. And by the way, I want to apologize. I didn't shave. I didn't do anything. I didn't prep for this at all to speak of, because this is literally an emergency broadcast. But I wasn't going to do it. I just planned like 20 minutes before showtime. I said, let's do this. Okay. So anyway, so they latch on like the what's that, Richard Mille or whatever that thing is, those hideous looking watches, right? And they latch on to these watches, and for some reason they hype them up, and all of a sudden they're like all this and that, right? And they're too smart by half. They just step back a minute and put the watch on your wrist and see if it looks gorgeous on the wrist. That should be step one. And if it doesn't look gorgeous on the wrist, then eliminate it. It should be a process of elimination. If it doesn't meet certain criteria, you eliminate it right off the bat. Okay. So if it's got ugly lugs and an ugly case design, eliminate it and go on to the next possibility, because there are watches, clearly, I have one on my wrist right now, that meet all the necessary criteria. They're comfortable on the wrist. They're extremely attractive. They're accurate. They're durable. They can be worn on a daily basis without issues. Okay. There are watches that meet that criteria. Now, I grant you the movement on this thing is gorgeous. So if you spend all your time with a macro lens and looking at a movement, fine. Okay, maybe this is the watch for you. But if you're going to wear it on your wrist and actually use it, again, it's got some criteria that would just eliminate it for me. No deployant clasp, forget about it. It's gone. That's it. I'm not going to wear that on a daily basis. Okay. So let's first go through your comments. I can't keep up with everything here, guys. I hope Grand Seiko releases a 39 to 40 millimeter diver with I agree, absolutely, but they won't listen to me. And especially with me pissing off everybody in the forums and so forth, they're not going to listen to me. I'm the only guy that calls it the way I see it, right? By the way, everybody else goes in and gives Jason an attaboy and pats him on the back. Oh my God, this thing's beautiful, and so on and so forth. And Kyle says that would be nice. He wants a smaller watch too. You need a photo of the Lange on an adult male wrist sent you one. That's great. He's punking out this guy's wrist, the poor guy. It's a 40 millimeter watch, Jason. Come on. Let's not, let's not bury the lead here. Grand Seiko diver would be great if it was 2010. The year 2010? Okay. I agree. It was good then. Show the movements in the comments. Okay. The 02 looks like Biden, and it's harder to sell than a Biden speech. Actually, I don't know. I think the 02 is more attractive than Biden, but anyway, I'll leave that up to you. His wrist looks quite small, though. Are you saying that I'm stacking the deck in my favor here? Are you saying it's the first video I pulled up on YouTube when I searched? This is the first one. I didn't cherry pick, guys. I'm just telling you. While Jason did lose some money on the 02 because it's such a widely unwanted piece over the entire globe, had to find a sucker in Singapore just to afford it. He made out like a bandit with the Lange. Well, here's the thing. He got a good buy on the 002, right? And you can do that. You can get a good buy on 002s. And to me, that's a plus. If I'm buying a watch and I can get a good buy on it, that doesn't go in the negative column, folks. That's a positive. But I guess that's just me. I want as much for my money as I can get. And of course, Jason probably got a good deal on the Lange. I'm looking right here. I'll show you here in a minute. there's a whole bunch of them for sale, and there are some pretty reasonable prices. So anyway, let's go back over to Jason. Jason, Craig has not slept in 24 hours because of this epic upgrade. Was it yesterday that you posted that? I guess I didn't notice it yet. I think I got in the thick of things today, but I can't keep track of time. Richard Millie's greater than Jess. Durr in the house. Durr, I hope to God you sold all those watches, because the market is crashing now on all your steel stunners. So I hope you sold them and bought Bitcoin at about $16,000 Bitcoin. I hope you made that move. If you did, I'm in solidarity with you. I bought a lot of Bitcoin at around 16,000 this go around, this cycle, this 4-year cycle. Lange looks amazing on my wrist. Yeah, but the O2 would look much better, Jason. Anything looks good on you. I mean, you're a good-looking guy and so forth, okay? And I'm not trying to hit on you, okay? I don't go that way. I'm not life in the light and the loafers. I don't have the, what's that multicolor thing that everybody's supposed to have, the FLGBQXT whatever thing. I don't have that on. I just have a Bitcoin badge. So I'm not hitting on you, but anything would look good on you, okay? But some things would look better than others. Okay, that's how I'll put it. Lange is thinner than yes, it is thinner, but the shape of the lugs and the slab sides and they didn't. Why don't you make it rounded and flowing? At least the Calatrava has that going for it. Why make they're trying to hold on to the past, and they've got this funky, that's their thing, right? The stuck on lugs, like you took an old pocket watch and stuck lugs on it, which back in the day, by the way, some of them did do that. It's silly, okay? It's just silly, but anyway, we'll move on. Craig, how do the service costs compare? I would think a Lange would be pretty expensive to service and would definitely need service more often than the spring drive, because it's got the escapement, a lot of wear and tear with those escapement mechanisms, right? Going back and forth all the time. So yeah, that's going to be an issue, but he doesn't keep watches long enough to have to service them. This guy isn't going to have this watch that long. I can tell you that right now. It's also got an amazingly designed buckle that is more comfortable than the O2 deployment class. Talk about a guy that's in denial, right? He doesn't even have a deployment clasp anymore, but now he's trying to talk about how it's better than a deployment clasp. Oh my God. That's terrible. Rolex Shopmaster 40 will fit your wrist. Yes, it's got a beautiful case. It's got a beautiful flowing case. It doesn't have that slab-sided bullshit super case. Excuse my French. Yes. Now we're talking some sense on the channel. Thank God. Are you guys still using this LO walkie-talkie app? Not much. I posted a few things in there, and Jason says 39 mil, but the other guy on the video said 40, but I don't know who's lying. But anyway, it looks like shit on the wrist. But most of these guys don't have these on the wrist. They have them in the box, and they take them out of the box occasionally to take a picture for social media, and then they put them back in the box. GS should be eliminated from the face of the planet due to crappy clasp, subpar bracelets with pins and collars, zero resale value, largely unreliable, crappy time. I love it. And bullshit dial stories. A lot of that is so true. Oh my God. A lot of that is so true. I'm leaving that up for a while. Sometimes Stern nails it. By the way, how's that resale value holding up for you on those steel stunners of yours? They're crashing quicker than a hot knife through butter. Carlos is in the house. He says, happy 2023. And hello to Carlos. I considered the 1815 versus the Calatrava. In my case, the main reason about the choice was my DNA bypass towards Patek plus the rose gold. I wanted yellow gold in this case. Yeah, yellow gold is always the way to go, but there are some Langes out there in yellow gold. So they are out there. Craig, can we do a poll? Option 1, keep the O2. Option 2, melt down the O2 into a stamped Bitcoin paperweight and use the cheap hands as toothpick. I love it. Durr is on a roll. Lange is worth servicing with the Grand Seiko. Just throw it in the trash and melt it down for scrap gold value because it's not worth it to service. Okay. Carlos is in the house. But is the same discussion as always with me. 002 is a very different watch than the 1815 and 5196. 002 is a kind of luxury all-purpose, while the Patek and Lange are pure dress. Yeah, but the Lange is too big for a pure dress. It's too big and bulky and funky looking. I'm sorry, Carlos, but I have to disagree with you on that. The Patek, yes, not the Lange. This is like upgrading from Briefit Dance to AOC. Yes, yes, go with Briefit Dance. Absolutely. 1815 up, down was chosen because it's more casual, definitely a great daily. Well, see, now you just contradicted what Carlos said. So yeah, now we got come on, you guys, fight it out in the chat. Come on, who's going to be right? Dur, do you still have the blue GS GMT? Yeah, because you can't sell those things. Cheatdown's in the house. Jason's in the house. I want to get to the Facebook stuff, okay? But you guys are tying me up in the chat here. The GS Facebook group most popular post 2023 is me dumping the 002 for Lange. Yes, I'm surprised the admins allowed that, by the way. Craig, how many Italians does it take to make a deploying class with the GS because their watchmakers are so shitty they can't even make a milled stainless steel class with micro adjustments? Good question. Craig, what happened? Dirk in the house. What is it? Why not Rolex day date will be? Yes, yes, he should have gotten a day date over the Lange. Yes, because it's gorgeous on wrist. Duh. If you sold the 02, then get Rolexes, the 0002. Okay, an extra O. The Lange is 0.5 millimeter bigger than the 02 and 20% thinner. How on earth is it too big? It looks terrible on the wrist. It's the design of the case, Jason. Come on. Come on. Get with the program here. Boozer. Yes, own a total of 6 Grand Seikos, and with my hands-on personal experience, they are overpriced junk. That's my official facts, but I don't have opinions. That's correct. This channel is only for facts, folks. No opinions on this channel, just facts. Cheers all, the GS in blue being released next month, the Evolution Collection SLGA 021, I heard. My understanding 1815 is only white gold and rose gold. Okay, but yeah, I guess you have to buy some other model. They have some models that are similar. I'll show some pictures here in a minute. So yeah. 1815 is pink gold, which is much more subtle than pure rose gold. It looks yellow in bright light and slightly pink in low light. Yeah, the color looked pretty good on your picture. All right, finally we're at the end, so we can switch back over to the laptop and go through these comments, these hilarious comments. All right, bear with me, folks. Actually, here's my comment. Actually, the 002 is the top. There is no up from there, and that triggered... Oh, there's a whole bunch of replies to that. So I got to open this up. Okay. So that triggered. Are you sure about that? Okay. And then damn, the 02 movement looks like a piece of sheet metal with a power reserve and a CD player on it. Anyway, you guys can read the rest of that. Yeah, here's the thing. I don't buy my watches to stare at the movement all the time. I buy my watches, I have them on wrist. I can't even see the movement. So again, I'm talking from a standpoint of wearing and using watches, not having box watches to show off in social media. So let me draw that clear distinction here, guys. This Lange probably makes a great box watch. Let's see, Dur in the house. The black display is okay. Oh, 002 is good, but I would not say it's the top. Oh, it's close though, right? Not quite the top. Let's open up these comments here. I replied to Dur, I buy my watches to wear, not sell, because he talked about the resale, right? Jason Harrier, just telling the truth. Hopefully others will learn something. Yeah, that's what I said. I said, I'm just telling, maybe what folks will learn. And Jason says, I'm certain others are learning. And I said that some of them are slow learners. Then he replied that they're learning that I'm delusional. Okay. Maybe some of them are learning that. Okay, so the 002, SBGY 002 gold is 25 new. Did it retain good value? See, again, here's somebody that's been sucked into the theory that watches are investments, right? That you should be parking your value, your hard-earned value in a watch. So they've been scammed already when they're thinking in those terms that a watch is not a consumable, that a watch is an investment item. They've already been scammed. And they're going to probably lose a lot of money on that, following that program. Let's see here. Let's go on. Congratulations, wear it in good health. See, here's another log roller like chiming in, right, with the showing off his watch that he took out of the box. It's in mint condition, folks. It has no scratches because he just took it out of the box for this picture, okay? And then he's going to put it right back in the box. Let me see if we can open up these two replies. My choice also, blah, blah, blah. And nice. I'll soon be selling my GS Cherry Blossom and others to fund an ALS. Okay, there you go. So you hear log rollers, chiming in here, showing their support, giving him the attaboys, cheering him on, right? Egging him on, I would say. That's like saying you upgraded from a Lexus to a Rolls Royce. Correct. A Lexus is better than a Rolls Royce. Correct. It's better to go with the Lexus. Rolls Royce gives trouble. Okay. It's not a better vehicle for daily use. Okay. Just like the 002 is a better watch for daily use than some of these exotics, right? Dur's in the house. That is what we call mega huge, gigantic, king size, tremendous, Dana White slaps name across. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Beautiful watch. Great company. Okay. Beautiful. I just got to go through these. One of my dreams, blah, blah, blah. Here, they're all just giving them the attaboys and egging them on, right? Hey, why not get 2 or 3 of them, Jason? My God, can you imagine the comments you'll get then? Beautiful pieces, great upgrade, no turning back from there. Oh, yeah, he'll be selling it. He won't be keeping that watch. Congrats. Love GS with the Lange is well cooler. Yeah, wrong. If you showed the 002 to 100 people and the Lange to 100 people, the vast majority would pick the Grand Seiko as being the more attractive watch. Just average people on the street, people that know nothing about watches, right? They're going to go for the 002 every time. Let's see, worth it, amazing watch, dude. Da 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 da. And then here's the and I will admit that it is stunning, the detail and stuff. But the screws, are you kidding me? Exposed screws to open it up? I mean, that's silly. That's silly. That's like, I mean, some of these watches, the Royal Oak and all these BS watches where they put screws on the outside and stuff. It's no better to have the screws on the underside of the damn watch. It looks silly. 2 thumbs down for screws all over the watch. All right, let me catch up here. And then I got some pictures to show from the monitor over yonder. Craig, let's see. Can it go? There are some. Okay, what did I miss here? Craig, it's too late. Call Steve and see if you can get 1/3 half the cost. Oh yeah, okay. Carlos in the house. Good pins, but okay. I probably skipped some comments, but I'm sorry, but that's the way it goes. Can't go in water. No, you wouldn't want to go in H2O with any of these dress watches. Craig posted a photo of the O2 movement in the thread, and I actually considered not embarrassing my Lange, but I couldn't resist. Yeah, I mean, the movement looks gorgeous. I'll give you that, but the hell do I care? If I'm wearing the damn watch, the hell do I care? I care how the movement functions, right? I care how it functions. And mine, guess what? Functions better than yours. And that secondhand gliding around is freaking gorgeous. Craig, why don't upgrade your 002 for the solid 18 karat yellow gold Tudor Black Bay 58? Yeah, that would be a real fail. Talk about that would even be worse. If Jason had said he had bought that, then I'd really be beside myself. I'd be fit to be tied in the corner. I'd be in the corner playing with blocks if I heard Jason upgraded, quote, upgraded to a Tudor. I have 3 watches. Yeah, but my God, you had at least two gorgeous watches, right? Two wonderful watches. I would put the Batgirl. Didn't you have a Batgirl, or did you have the Batman? I hope you had the Batgirl. I prefer the Jubilee. But anyway, you had a GMT and you had an 002. So you had the perfect 2-watch rotation, and now you've screwed the pooch. Cheetown. If you can't afford to lose money on a luxury watch, you couldn't afford to own that watch in the first place. These watches are meant for people with nice, heavy incomes. Correct. They're luxury items. They should be bought with disposable income, folks. Disposable. I don't know. Everything's got out. People are buying these damn things on credit cards and stuff. I mean, it's just people have just lost their freaking minds, if you ask me. Okay, so anyway, but don't ask me. The O2 is so undesirable and unattractive that the Chinese won't even make a fake. They can't make a replica because it's too nice. I think it was Baldus here on YouTube that says luxury watch pieces are going down except for Lange. They'll go down. All of them will go down because they were all overhyped to some extent. But I think Lange wasn't as overhyped as some of the other brands. Obviously, the steel Rolexes are going to be the ones that are going to be hit the hardest. The Daytonas and things like that. They're going to be the ones hit the hardest. Because they were the ones that were the most hyped, right? All the steel sport model Rolexes, they'll be hit the hardest. This Lange is so beautifully finished from the front to back that it's like watching a movie in 8K compared to the O2, which is machine finished, mass produced movement. Well, flip it around and wear it with the movement facing out. I don't know what you're going to do about those lugs, though. Maybe you can get a jeweler to smooth out those lugs a little bit. Do a little bit of work on it. Do a custom job, like the hot rodders would chop their hot rods. Except that the 250 GS, maybe you can put that movement in the 002 case. That'd be the trick. Take that movement and put it in the 002. Except that 250 GS Facebook members love the upgrade from the 002 to Lange. I wish they were both here and we could go out on Venice Beach with both and get random opinions from people. Do that, Jason. Next time you're out in California. Oh, but the problem is he's already sold the 002. Well, if I go to the watch fair, but this fall, but I probably won't because I get the feeling that I'm not going to get invited this time because I haven't heard anything from Steve. He doesn't return any of my calls or emails or anything. Not that I'm bitter, but if by some chance I am there, then if Jason still had, these are two big ifs. If Jason still has the Lange, then we'll go a walkabout around the shopping center there and we'll ask random people. And I bet you I win. But we're going to have to put the 002 on somebody more attractive than me so that we have an even playing field here. That Kyle, we'll have Kyle wear the 002 and Jason wear his, and then we'll do a random walk around and see what people say. Okay? Because I don't want the deck stacked in Jason's favor because he's a lot younger and better looking than me and stuff. They'll obviously pick his watch, right? So we need to level that playing field a little bit and have Kyle sport the 002. So that sounds like a good competition. Mont Blanc pins are great, and I have one. Cheers from Germany. Yeah, there you go. I have a Mont Blanc. I actually have no idea what people would prefer. Yep, this is where we'll find out. Dursenhouse, the 002 is a shitter when all the Grand Seiko enthusiasts are praising Jason for getting rid of it and doing 1,000% upgrade. Interesting thought. Let's see. My son has taken his final decision about his graduation watch. Current options are Datejust 36, Fluted Jubilee versus Explorer 39. He chose the Datejust and is very happy. Yes, the Datejust. Absolutely. That's a gorgeous piece. Are you talking about the one with the roulette date? Yes. Kyle's in house. Amazing, Carlos. That makes me so happy. See, some people on the channel are making the right decisions here, folks. You notice that? Some people are making the right decision. Jason, on the other hand, I have a Batman 50 Fathoms and a Lange. Yeah, Batman. Oh, darn. Oh, but you can get the Jubilee. An AD, I think, will get you a Jubilee for the Batman. So yeah, I'd go ahead and get the Jubilee for the Batman and switch that out. And then, I mean, I guess you got no choice now. I guess you got to rotate it with the Lange. That's a fail, though. Zero desire currently for any watch. Well, my God, you've got some beautiful watches. You don't need any more watches, for God's sakes, people. People are finally coming to their senses, and that's why this market is going to get back to normal. It's all this hype and everything, all these overpriced watches and so forth. It's going to come down to earth, folks, because people are starting to come down to earth. They're starting to realize it makes no sense. I saw somebody just share a picture the other day in one of the groups of a watch box. Again, 6 watches, or no, it was like 8. It was like 8 watches in the box, all steel stunners. And, some of them expensive, Rolexes and so forth, right? And I just put a comment in there. I said, my God, man, why don't you just sell them all and get a gold stunner and wear it and enjoy it? And he replies back, he says, no, the gold watch will get some scratches on it. I'll lose money, right? I mean, that should tell us everything, folks. He's scared to wear the watches because they'll get scratches because he'll lose money. He doesn't want to wear his he had a Panda in there. He doesn't want to wear his Panda. Heaven forbid. My God, if it gets a scratch, I'll lose like 10 grand. It's very sad, folks. Chinese do make fake GS, but not the 002. Oh, interesting. It's pronounced Lange. Anyway, I don't give a shit how it's pronounced. I'm not buying one. The Germans aren't getting my money. Is Rolex still dropping? Yeah, hell yeah. The market's getting soft, and when everybody starts waking up that the market is soft, you think you've seen it drop so far. You ain't seen nothing yet. You're going to see, I'll tell you what, for years and years was normal for Rolex. On steel Rolexes, you could get anywhere from 15 to 20% discount buying them new, okay, including a Daytona. And if the AD had a Daytona, they were dying to sell it because nobody wanted those damn things, okay, back in the day. So gold watch, brand new, like a Date 8, you could get 30 to 40% off, okay? The most I ever got was 40% off on a white gold Date 8 that was an old priced model, so it was already significantly less than the current retail because the dealer didn't mark it up, right? It had an old price on it. It was like 2 years in his case. And so it was a 2-year-old price, plus I got 40% off. That's the only reason I bought it, because I had no interest in the white gold Date 8, but I made a ridiculously low offer and he took it, right? So back in the day, you could get those kind of discounts. And a Date 8, rule of thumb was, if it was like 5 to 10 years old, used, it would sell for about half of what it cost new. Okay, that was rule of thumb. On the steel pieces, maybe 60% of what they cost new, right? Thereabouts, if they were in mint condition. Let's say they were 5 to 10 years old. So that, now again, going from the price that it cost new at the time that it was bought, not the current list, right? So that was normal for Rolex pricing, and I think we'll get back to that. It might take a couple years, but we'll get back to that. Rolex is stabilized in the secondary market for now, but it could definitely fall further. Yes, it's absolutely going to fall further. I definitely still have the Lange. It's a keeper for sure. I'll definitely still have it. Okay, so he's predicting the future. Craig, do you prefer ST DuPont pins? I like my DuPont pins. I've got 2 of them, and I like them. Yes, I do like them. And you can get them in pretty good shape on eBay sometimes. I don't know if the newer ones are any good. I know back in the day, the ones they made, they were pretty good. Now, I didn't buy the fountain pens. I bought just the ballpoint pens. I have pictures of them on my Flickr. If you want to go there and take a look, just search for them on my Flickr photos. I have photos of them. The 02 is so unwanted. GS knew they made a mistake and couldn't sell them, so they decided to save money and use the same mold to make even less attractive, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, they shouldn't have made those. Okay. If I love and enjoy the watch, it was a correct decision. Not if you've deluded yourself. Not if you have fallen for the hype. Not if you've been scammed, if you've been had, okay? And it looks like you've been had on this one. Because I mean, objectively, it's a lesser watch than the 002. Period. It's not as attractive. You put them side by side, it is not as attractive of a watch. It's got some design issues, okay? Sometimes the Germans just can't design worth shit, okay? I'm sorry to put it that way. But sometimes their designs kind of suck. Jason, it was your decision. Then it was a great decision. Not really. Sometimes people make mistakes. Even a guy as smart as Jason sometimes makes mistakes, right? I'm sure in his professional life he doesn't, because he's a professional. He's paid top dollar. That's why he can afford to buy all these expensive watches like they're nothing. And he gets paid top dollar because he double checks everything, and he doesn't let his emotions run away with him when he's doing his professional work, right? He calls it the way he sees it, and he gets things done, and he doesn't make mistakes, okay? But when he gets into this watch thing, he lets emotions run away with him, and before you know it, he's made some silly unforced errors. Some silly unforced errors is what I would call them. Carlos in the house. These things are to be purchased with the heart. Then we use the brain to justify our art decisions. Yeah, and sometimes people can get into trouble doing that. Yeah, I agree. Sometimes people let their heart sell them down the river. Oh, let's see. Carlos, Charlie Brown, Timex is greater than GS. I've taken your advice and I'm downsizing on the watches, not using them so they're out the window. Yes, and especially if you take that money and put it in Bitcoin now that we're at the bottom of the cycle or close to it, then in 5 years' time, I think you'll thank me profusely. Yes, I think that's what you'll do. How many watches do you own, Tim? Carlos in the house. I got my date at about 25% discount, new with card to my name on it, David. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I think when things get back to normal, you'd even be able to get even a little more than that on a gold date. But you got a pretty good buy. Absolutely. I would look at Pilot for any pen under $500 USD. Craig, what's the scoop on Bree's TV show appearances? That dating show? I have no idea because it was shot. Yes, it's really cool. Follow her on social media. She's still in Miami. When she gets back up here, we're planning on taking some clips out of the different appearances, because it's an ongoing thing, the show. Like, she's in several episodes, right? And so what we're going to do, since the shows are like 2 hours long and she'll only be in there for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that, we're going to pull out some of the best clips and put together a video, and we'll have her put some English subtitles on. This is the plan, at least, if we can get it all done. And that way, some of you guys will be able to watch it and see what she was actually saying, because it's all in Spanish. And I think she's doing a great job. I mean, she's a natural. I thought she was going to be nervous, but she seemed very at home on camera and was doing a great job from what I saw. Of course, I can't tell what they're saying, but she was going along with the flow and very natural, and it seemed very good. And I was impressed with the setup. My gosh, the studio they have down there, and the set, and they have like a band there and everything. And I mean, and the host and the hostess of the show and all, they seem very professional. It seemed well done. Craig, is it okay? I just answered that. Let's see here. Of course, thanks for the tips. My next fountain pen will be a Pilot. Okay. I emailed you a photo of it on my wrist, much better than the child's wrist you started with. Okay, let me see if I can find that. Okay, so here's the picture that Jason sent. And actually, let me go back a little bit. Oops. Go back a little bit. I went in a little bit too much. Okay, well, you can see the whole picture. Okay, so from the top view, obviously it does look a little bit better than the picture that I showed, because you can't really see how chunky it looks from the side. But even having said that, I still think if the watch were a little bit smaller, maybe 38 and a half mils, something like that. I kind of wish mine was 38 mils instead of 38 and a half, tell you the truth. Mine is right at the limit. If it was any bigger, I wouldn't have bought it. It's right at the limit. But the rub that I have with the Lange is I just don't like those lugs that look like they were just stuck onto the case. I just think it's silly. And to tell you the truth, I don't like the old style numbers, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would rather have just hash marks, right? I don't like a busy dial like that. And here's the thing, on the photos, it looks okay and so forth, but when you're reading the watch and it's further away from you and so forth, I just like a cleaner dial. I just like a cleaner, easier to read dial. I don't like those second hands and stuff. I don't even know what they're for. Can somebody tell me why it has two? Is one a power reserve or something? I don't know. But anyway, I wouldn't want those sub dials under any circumstances. So no, I think that, again, it's a good box watch. It's great for sharing on social media. So if that's your goal, then absolutely. Jason absolutely loses his logic to watches. If he was being logical, then he would have settled with an Apple Watch. The Apple Watch is actually a good piece. A lot of people shit on the Apple Watches. I know, a lot of folks in here don't like them. I don't need one for any real purpose. It doesn't really serve a purpose that I really need. So I like wearing my other watches. But if I had a health problem where I needed it or something, or some real use case, I would not have a problem with an Apple Watch. I think they're pretty cool. I like the steel one though, the stainless steel with the steel bracelet, not the funky aluminum one. And the big titanium thing they came out with, I don't know about that, but I guess it's okay. Pilot are great. Just look your preferred style. In many cases, I love vanishing points because I have some very okay. Craig, you should be down there with her as security. Yeah, but it was for too much time, and I have other stuff I had to do. But you're right. But it seems to be okay because they put her up in a really nice hotel. They're paying all the expenses and everything, and she's very cautious as far as she doesn't like go out and go around with strangers and all that kind of stuff. She's very professional when she's down there. She's doing her thing. She's starring in a TV series. Pretty amazing stuff. Craig, just tell her to speak English. Okay. Spanish, it's on this, but it's a bit scratchy to write with. Okay. Let's see here. Kyle, about 10, but some are vintage inherited from my dad and some Seiko, etc. Okay. No, it's good. Any pen can be scratchy. Okay. I had a friend translate what Bree was saying on TV, and he speaks Spanish, and he said that Bree was talking about how she wishes her gold GS was a Lange. Interesting. She didn't bring the any of her gold jewelry down there, by the way. She left it all back home because I guess she didn't trust the hotel or whatever, or she didn't want to take the risk. She didn't bring any of her faux pay jewelry or her GS, all that she left at home. So, let's see. Is that dries quite easily? Okay. Can't sell the inherited pieces. There you go. not a problem if you use it often. Colors are the nibs on the first. Okay. Let's see. Just going through this little conversation here. That Lange looks amazing. The lugs actually work for that early 20th century battleship aesthetic. Yeah, but I just don't like that aesthetic. That's the problem. Yeah, I'm not down with that. I know there's an Omega, IWC, and Zenith 60s, 70s. Amazing how they were built them so many years ago. Jason in the house. It's an up down. The left is a power reserve patented by Lange in 1879. Yeah, see, that's the kind of stuff I could give two rats' asses about. I care about how the thing performs when I wear it every day, right? I don't give a shit about what they invented in 1879. First of all, the company was out of business for decades and just relaunched, what, in the 90s or something? So it's not like it was constantly in business since the 1800s. So that's a scam in and of itself. But anyway, I digress. Let's go back here. She just chose the pilot you love and fits in your budget. I'm just saying, guys, don't feed into the hype bullshit out there. Okay. Don't let your hard-earned money fall victim to hype. That's all I'm saying. Buy an attractive watch that you can wear for decades, wear it and enjoy it, and get on with your life. Be involved in other things, get the money like Jason's doing. My God, he's raking the money in, big freaking money, right? He made a mistake. He sold his Bitcoin at the bottom, a lot of it, most of it, I think he sold. I think he said he sold all of it. And then he's been buying some back slowly but surely since then, small amounts. But, he sold at the bottom. But I mean, sometimes people try to time the market and they don't understand, and it is what it is. But, he makes so much money that doing a mistake like that, it doesn't really matter to him because, he's just raking in the cash. So, but for folks that aren't in that position, don't sell your Bitcoin, for God's sakes. Don't sell your precious Bitcoin. Hold on to that. Somebody said, wow, I have an Apple Watch Ultra. There you go. That's exactly what Craig. Apple Watch worked great as an all-purpose tool. Yes. And mine was relatively thin. I think it was only 10 or 11 millimeters thick. I mean, it was fine. Apple Watch is the Rolex tool watch of today. Watches, fry, and jacuzzis. My Rolexes are all good. Yeah, Kyle had problems with his Apple Watch. I think he had problems with two of them. So, yeah. Gee, the 95S has very particular style. If you love it, go for it. In my cases, I really like the Falcon, but I do not have one. Okay. So they're talking about pens again. That's correct, Jason. New Rolexes are jewelry pieces. Old Rolexes are too delicate and valuable to be used as heavy as tool watches. Well, Kyle uses his as a tool watch. He's not scared to wear his Submariner, his no-date Submariner. That's a fantastic piece, by the way. I've seen that watch in person. Fantastic piece. Let's see here. Chi-Town. Correct. Lange is a Phoenix brand. East Germans seized the factory in Glashot after the war. There you go. Invicta is greater than GS. Was he joking? Not sure. I believe Jason on the BTC sale. No, he doubled down on it. He said he sold at the bottom. Yeah, or close to the bottom. He says he sold. Wait a minute now. He's saying now he sold it around 18.6. I think it was in the 16s when he sold. I think he's making up numbers now. But anyway, even 18.6, I mean, my God, what the hell was he thinking, right? Still think we'll see a crash below there. Time will tell. Yeah, good luck with that. That's very risky. See, here's the thing that I try to tell other, quote, Bitcoiners is the only sure thing is the Bitcoin that you have in cold storage and self-custody, that you have in custody. You're not trusting some third party like Coinbase or FTX or whoever to hold your Bitcoin. You're holding it in self-custody. That's a sure thing. If you sell your Bitcoin hoping to buy it back later, that's a gamble. And I'm not a gambler by nature. I go for sure things. So that's why I buy Bitcoin, I put it in cold storage, and I don't worry about it. And I don't worry about if the price goes up, down tremendously. Now, if it goes down significantly, we're in typically what would be the low part of the 4-year cycle. If you look at the charts, this is the low point of the 4-year cycle. Yes, I will buy more heavily during that time. I will buy more heavily. But I'll even buy some as it goes up and when it's at the high numbers. I bought a fair amount in the $40,000 range, stuff like that, right? But I don't care. I'm happy with that Bitcoin. I'm going to hold it. I'm not worried, right? So that's the thing. Don't stress out about trying to time the market buying and selling, because we don't know when the 4-year cycles are going to stop happening. We don't know when it'll get to the point where we won't have these big pullbacks in these quote bear markets in Bitcoin with this 4-year cycle. That may break at some point. And then if you've sold and you're waiting for those lower numbers to buy back in, guess what? You never get your Bitcoin back. So that's the danger to trying to time the market, is you may end up not getting that Bitcoin back or having to pay significantly more to get it back. So Brett beats the crap out of his gold sub. That's great. He bought the gold sub to wear. That's great. I love it. Jason sold all the Bitcoin. Its value was falling more than GS resale value, and that's low. Yep. And now he's got to buy, when he goes to buy it back, he's going to have to pay more. That's the problem. He's going to have to pay more. Let's see. While Kyle and Brett use their Rolexes as tool watches, because they're Chads. Okay. Definitely a risky move. Got to gamble to win, folks. Yeah, like I say, when you got the income that Jason has, when you're making that kind of money, 8 figures each year, I mean, my God, this is peanuts to him. This is peanuts, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, he can just throw that around like it's nothing. So yeah, absolutely. Kyle's in the house. Not sure if that was meant to be a compliment, but I'll interpret it that way. Which compliment? Yeah, who would do anything but compliment Kyle? Kyle's got his act together. Even though he won't join the show, I sent him a link to join the show, even though he won't join the show. Not that I'm bitter. Kyle Chad is indeed a compliment. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so I guess we're going to wrap it up. I think we've beaten this dead horse to death. We've kicked it while it's down. By the way, there's a really cool movie on HBO. If any of you guys subscribe to HBO, the movie is Treasure of Sierra Madre with Humphrey Bogart. Good movie. Good movie about greed and FOMOing in and making crazy decisions because of money. And in that case, it was gold. But anyway, Treasure of Sierra Madre. Check it out. Yeah, I think you guys will like it. I'm going to wrap it up. Let me know if there's anything else. Let's show this watch one more time. The subject matter of the live stream. There it is. There it is. Well, we can keep this thing going. If you're going to come in, are you going to join us? I sent you the link. You can join us on your phone, for God's sakes. Just click the link and come on in. Let's see. We cannot end now, says Carlos. Yeah, we don't need to show any stinking badges. Yes, it's a great line. That goes to show you that they should have shot that guy like many times over, right? That guy should have been shot, right? But anyway, I shouldn't do any spoilers. I shouldn't do spoilers for anybody that hasn't seen it. But yeah, it's a cool. Lamont is in the house. Welcome, Lamont. Lamont in the house. Let's see. Well, we have all came to the conclusion after this that the Lange is more superior than the GS. Let's see. and Lamont out of jail again. Let's see. Great show, Craig. It's good times coming back. Sig in the house. We'll have to do a live stream when Brianna gets back from the from her starring role down in Miami. Let's see. We'll have to do an update. Great show, guys. So on. And please, Jason, don't do any more stupid maneuvers and as far as your watches go, just so you can trigger a show like this. I know that's why you did it. I know you did this silly move, selling the 002 and buying some German, you know, cobbled up X pocket watch, cobbled into a dress watch. I know you did this whole thing just to get me to do an emergency broadcast. I know that's what happened here, but please you don't have to go to that extent. And maybe you can get your 002 back. What do you think? The 002? Maybe you can get that back. I think that would be the move. The judge confiscated Lamont's wrench. He had a wrench? Okay. Sometimes a man got to do what a man's got to do to get live shows around here. Craig, be glad Jason didn't trade a Mint LS 430 in to buy an electric BMW i7. Good point. Good point. Sent the link. Okay. Somebody sent a link in. All right. They're trying to scam me into a extended show here. Go back here. I don't know. It's not showing up. I guess the mail's not coming through from down under very quickly because it's not showing up here. I don't know, folks. I don't know what's going on here. We can't end, Eric says. Okay. Tudor released a Bitcoin themed watch. Would you like it? No. Brianna has a couple of Bitcoin themed watches that some people had sent her that she I think we did videos on them on the channel. I think we did. I know she did on her social media. They're pretty cool looking, actually. One of them had a Japanese movement in it. It was made in China, but had a Japanese movement in it. And it actually was pretty cool. Chi-Town in the house. It's hilarious that these guys will boast about buying a Rolex because they don't want to lose money are the same guys who buy brand new German luxury cars with 20K and options. Good point. I think some of those guys just lease those cars, though, which is even stupider. But yeah. What's going on? Now, all of a sudden, my mouse is not working. Okay, there we go. Where is Lance actually? Been way too long. Good point. Good point. Craig, do you want to buy my faux pay? See, now he's got a faux pay that doesn't match his watch, right? So he's really shot himself in the foot. Now the watch is not yellow gold, so it doesn't match his faux pay anymore. So now he's really screwed himself. I don't know. On that note, Jason, I think we're going to let it go. We've done all we can. We've done a fairly abrasive, I would say, intervention, and sometimes interventions are not successful. Sometimes they're a fail. Car fleeces, unless you want to expense to your business to save money. But you can do that if you buy it. You can still depreciate it if you buy it. If you buy it as a company car. Wait, what about the disappearance of Jaden? That's a good question. All right, folks, we're going to let you guys go. I do have to eat. I'm getting hungry. I get a little bit mean when I'm hungry. So let's see here. You can write off depreciation. Yeah, absolutely you can. Yeah. Over a certain number of years, you can do that. Okay, so we're going to let it go. We're going to let it go, folks. And thanks for watching. Don't make silly purchase decisions when you're making your watch decisions and other decisions. Think them through, folks. Think them through. And I say buy the Bitcoin dip. Any Bitcoin below $40,000 is a great buy, folks. Anything below 40,000 is a great buy. Mark my words and just wait and see. Wait and see what happens. Time, as Jason says, time will tell the tale. Megan's in the house. Now we know it's time to go. Now we know it's time to go. And Jason tried to get the last word in. And but Kyle beat him to it. All right, we're out of here, folks. See you guys next time.